Alright, just heads up, this is going to be a just plain video, no actual video footage. But I wanted to give you an update. So, I was working on my Fuzz. I want to get some pedals out there to you guys. Because, of course, I love circuit bending. I got into it a few years ago. I've had my ups and downs with my health, both physical and mental, and some other challenges. A close family member, my grandmother, just passed away. And that's been really difficult, but I've been dealing with it. But yeah, it's been tough. So, it wasn't just like a relationship to like a grandparent. She's more like a second mom. So it made it much more difficult for me. But I've stayed strong through it because she wouldn't want me to be sad or mope around. She would hate that. She'd be really angry at me and scream at me. So. I'm choosing to not be sad. I'm making the conscious decision to push away my sadness. But anyways, I know you don't want to hear about all that. The fuzz pedal. So I've got great news on that. I got the prototype working, and I got two of them working. I got one prototype working that is just a bare bones. It's just a circuit. There's no way to get rid of it, turn it off, unless you just unplug the battery. And then I made another one that actually has a switch. That's awesome. Now, the only thing I haven't done to my prototype yet is actually put knobs to control the level of the volume and the level of the fuzz itself. But it's not going to be too hard. I know where to put them. So I'm going to do that. But so this fuzz is going to be kind of based on the Hemo base fuzz. A few people have used it. I think Earthquaker maybe have used it. And like JHS have used it. They've made a modified version of it as one of their pedals. So it's been around. It's a respectable little pedal design. And the creators, from what I can tell, is cool if people make copies of it. But I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna just make a copy of it. I'm gonna I'm going to modify the circuit, right? I'm going to use different components just to tweak it into my own kind of thing, right? Think of it like, if you take a pedal and you circuit bend it, sure, it's still a Boss DS1 or a Behringer this or a Dan Electro that, but if you've circuit bent it, you can tell it's just totally something different, even though the guts are something different. But one or two different components, put in a different way or a different value can create very different results, and that's what I'm going for. So I hope you all do like it. When those two fuzzes, sorry I'm yawning, it's a little late. And when I start talking a lot, when it's late, I yawn. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I forget to breathe as I talk or something weird. But yeah, those prototypes are done, and I'm gonna evolve them, and pedals are coming soon. I've ordered my first few cases. I was originally gonna do a pedal that was a much larger footprint, like a lot more components, but I decided I'd have to use like a much bigger pedal case. And some of those components would cause me to have to raise the price of my pedals. And I'm like, hey, I'm new on the scene. Like, I want to make these relatively affordable to you guys, Like, I don't want to make them just where only rich people can get them, right? So my original goal was I wanted to get these at $99. That's my goal. I'm gonna try for it, but here's the thing, okay? So my first, I think what I might do is this. So eventually, I'm gonna make a bunch of different iterations of my design. Well, it's not my design, but my tweaking of the Hemo base fuzz. But I'm making it into my own thing. And so this is how it'll be. I'll play around with a ton of different ones, and I'll find out, okay, this is the one I want to go with as my quote-unquote mass market pedal. And those, I'm going to get the cases professionally done, like professionally powder-coated with text and everything. And they're going to be dope, but that costs money, and they're going to be a little more pricey, right? But I'll still continue to make some one-off or limited runs. But we're going to do something different, where most companies make their limited runs more expensive, or maybe if you're lucky the same price, but they sell it quickly, right? what we're going to do is I'm going to make these limited runs actually cheaper, right? So for those people who want to experiment, for those people who want to be a little different, those people want to stand out, want to take a chance on something a little bit different and not as proven, then they'll save some money. But those pedals are not going to have the powder coated casings and stuff like that. The powder coating, I've done my homework on this, is what is going to cost the most, unless I just do like a humongous bulk of them. But I'm not like Behringer or Boss or MXR or anything like that. I can't just churn out thousands of pedals and eat that cost. So yeah. So I'm gonna find, like I said, what I like, powder coat those as my main design. And yeah, I'm thinking of designs and names. I would say send me a suggestion, but like I'd have to compensate you. I'd feel wrong, and I don't want to do any of those legal issues. But I'll entertain any ideas. But that'll be fun. Maybe y'all guys can decide what color I make it. I don't know. I think I'll have to hear what the final design is, and I'll know what color it sounds like. Okay, I know that's weird, but like, yeah. It's kind of like when you eat candy. It feels better to eat the blue candy. I don't know why it does, but it just feels better to eat that bright, like, vibrant blue candy. It just does. That's banned in most of Europe, but not in America. And yeah, so the special designs, which are not the mass made ones that I may only make like a run of one or maybe like 5 of those. Those pedals will be hand painted, so they will be cheaper. I know you might think, well, hand painting, it doesn't take more of your time. It does take more of my time, but I don't have to pay for them. So I have cans of spray paint. I can do that. And I still have the paint left over from my car, which is actually a really good paint. It's like a tractor paint. I didn't realize how dangerous that paint is. That paint is actually banned in California and maybe 10 other states because of the horrible toxic fumes that you could breathe when you do it. It's an oil-based paint, and oil-based paints are being phased out. But the cool thing about an oil-based paint for a car, that's what it's for, or a tractor, whatever you use it on, is most paints you have to use the base coat and then you have to put a clear coat on top of it, or it just won't look right, But those old school oil-based paints, you don't need a clear coat. Sure, you could add one if you wanted to, but you don't actually need the clear coat, and that's dope. It'll still look good. It'll have that old school, quote unquote, old school look of just like a solid paint color. There's no like depth to the paint. There's no like metallic shine. There's no like, ooh, how it shines in the sun. It's just like a solid color, But yeah, I still have that bucket of orange paint from painting my car, so I might use that orange paint on the limited runs. So it'll be limited run ones at first until I found, okay, this is my design. And when I found this is my design, then I'm going to try to get those cases, powder coated. The first few of them might not actually be powder coated. The first few of them might also be hand painted. So have that in mind. But, yeah. I don't think I'm actually going to make this pedal orange. So if there are some that are orange, they're going to be like the limited edition ones. It's not going to be the main run. But I might use that orange car paint because it's a really tough paint and to be a pretty good paint. But even though that paint's illegal to buy and use in those states, if the thing is painted with it in a state that it's legal to use, and then you buy it afterwards, there's no problem with that. So because the fumes are released here in the state, but the paint itself is not toxic to be around. It's not going to put off fumes randomly once it's dried. But it's oil based, so it'll take a long time to dry. In the sun, it could take a day or two, in the hot sun of summer. So, but like I said, I got plenty of cans, plenty of paint, and yeah, tons of components. A lot of different designs are going to come out. And the cool thing, I did almost forget to add this is, so these are going to actually be like a standard pedal size. The original circuit I was working on, the pedal was going to be humongous. I mean, it was going to be 4 times the size of a regular pedal. But I've gotten a much smaller design, and it's going to be better because more people will want it. But some of the limited and one-off pedals I'm going to put into other type of cases. They're not going to be into the standard little cases because I'm saving those for my main run. So I'm going to be using weird different cases for these first limited ones. Maybe except for a few, because I have ordered 3 smaller standard cases just to test if they're going to fit my main design. And so at least 3 of these one-offs will have a regular size pedal. But the rest of them will either be like in a larger pedal or a wooden box, or I even have this metal key safe that I'm going to make one. So yeah. And those ones that are larger, I might expand the circuit into something much bigger. I'm not sure, but we'll just have to wait and see for that. But the main pedal, for sure, like I said, it's probably only gonna be a 2-knob pedal, but it might have a switch to engage like a slightly different tonal mod, or that's a possibility. I'm looking into that. As well as some of the special ones might have 1 or even 2 of those options. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad to announce that those fuzz pedals are coming along. I'm at my grandmother's house now. I'm helping, with the estate, quote unquote. It's not really an estate, but with the estate, and it's a lot of work doing all that because she didn't write a proper will, just a handwritten will. So it's been difficult. So I'm going to be down here for a week or 2. More. I'm not sure how much longer. Possibly. Yeah, a week or 2. 2 weeks at the very most. I might have to come back down, but I gotta get back up to Alabama and work on my pedals. So. And yeah. I also wanted to give you an update. So if y'all see that my store, if it goes on to quote vacation mode, it means I'm just not in Alabama and I can't sell anything. So if when I'm down in Atlanta, I'm sorry, but I can't sell anything. But I might, when I have my pedals, I might actually bring them with me when I come to Atlanta so I can sell them. So that might be something that goes on. But I recently did circuit bend 2 keyboards and they are for sale. I still have those 2 old pedals. Those 2 old pedals are pretty weird circuit bend mods, so they're not going to be for everybody. So I expect them to be on there for a long time before they ever sell, and that's fine. I didn't make those to like, I need to sell these, but they're available because I got so many pedals, and I'll get them out there to someone who eventually wants them. But I have actually circuit bend a few pedals, like while I was working on my prototype for this pedal. Whenever I get stumped, I'd go circuit bend a pedal and then come back to the prototype. So I circuit bent like 10 during that process. So there's a few more. There's like maybe 20 circuit bend pedals I haven't made a video on yet. I'm not sure. Somewhere around that, maybe a little less, but be cool. I've already taken up enough of your time. Stay tuned to those pedals. You should start seeing the first of my pedals by the end of the month. And this is the very early April right now. So yeah. Now I do have an idea. So I could put some of them in some local shops. I've talked with some local shops. And of course they're willing to sell your pedals, but they want a little commission on them, obviously. Can't blame them. Yeah. And some shops will actually pay you right out. Like, if you want to sell your pedal for $200 and they want this commission, so maybe they'll give you, here's $150 right out for your pedal, and they're going to sell it for $200. Or here's what, you know what I mean? It's not going to be exact, those numbers, but you know what I mean? It's an idea. But some won't actually give you the money until it sells. So it really depends on the shop. I would prefer a shop that gives me the money right up front. But I know it's a gamble for them to invest. Startup, so most won't do that. But yeah, I'm going to put them in some local shops. I'm going to put them in some shops in Atlanta. And I'm going to put some in the shops in Huntsville and possibly Decatur. No, Huntsville, Alabama, Decatur, Alabama. Around that area. Mostly Huntsville. And some in Atlanta, you know, hometown. But I don't think I'm going to start putting them into the shops until I get my, like, this is the model that I'm going to make a lot of as my standard model. I want to put the standard model in the shops so it, like, brings awareness to that model. If I just put the one-offs, it's not going to really do as much. It'll bring people into the brand, but it's not going to, like, bring people to, ooh, this pedal. And people are going to start noticing, like, a certain pedal, you know, in stores. So the few store distributed pedals will wait until the main one's out. But I could also make limited editions for certain shops just for fun. I don't know. I'll see in my relationship to shops and which shops treat me the best. You know, which shops give me a bigger percentage, which shops want a lesser. What do you call it? Like commission. What shops pay me up front? Like I'll definitely hook up shops with some limited ones. Maybe even like with their like specialty, like only you get at this shop versions. It just depends. There's so many ideas. I have so many ideas, man. But like I said, I got those guitar picks for the shop. They're funny. They have my dad making a funny face on it. And what's cool is it's like an old 3D type print. Now, even though it's not 3D, if you take a, you know, like Tupperware, or like, you know, sometimes you can get deli meat or any deli, like even whatever, in like these plastic tubs, and they have like a red lid. You'll see it at the store. Like my grandma always would buy that brand that had that red lid. It was a cheap brand. But you take this and you put it under that red lid, that clear red plastic, and it turns the image of my father into black and white, and it enhances the detail of the image, which is pretty cool. And also, another interesting fact to note about this is if you look at him and under like a regular soft light, it's kind of blurry. But if you take it into like a white, like daylightish LED, it becomes more defined. Very interesting effect how that happens. And then on the other side of the pick, it says ADHD mods, and then in small font, it says custom guitar pedals. Now these little picks, they're not the best quality. I actually had these made by a Chinese company because I was low on funds. There's only 100 of these. I think they're made out of nylon. I'm not sure. Maybe they're nylon or they're either nylon or PVC or I don't know what they are. But they're white plastic. Yep. They're pretty thick. They're thick boys. I'm not a guitar player, but the few times I do play it, I prefer a thicker pick. So these are thicker picks. So, yeah. And I try to encourage, you know, you can use whatever pick you want, but if you do buy one of my pedals, it'll come with one of my picks, and I encourage you to either collect them or use them. And I know people will, like, want to collect and use them, so I'm going to send you guys two. So if you buy one of my pedals, you'll get two of the picks, you know, one to collect and one to use until they run out. I'm going to save a couple of these because they're the first run. But each batch is going to be different. The next batch I'm going to probably get done by an American company. Because when I got these, like I said, they're cheaper, but also they had this horrific smell when they first came in. My God, they smelled like mothballs. That's what they smelled like, mothballs. But the smell has faded. But yeah, if you order one of my pedals, circuit bent pedal or a pedal I make, you'll get two of those picks, and I'll also include them with the store versions. I'm thinking of some other little cool ideas to do with my pedals. I think with like the limited edition pedals that are like special one-offs or 5-offs or whatever they are, I'll include little extra bonus goodies with them, like either artwork or other unique little goodies. So yeah, that's be something to look out for. I don't know. But thank you. You've been here with me for 20 minutes. I know it's like whoa. Probably one person has listened to this. And if you've made it this far, I gotta definitely give a shout out to one of my favorite bands. So yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do a separate shout out. You know, a separate shout out because I doubt everyone's gonna make it this far in the video, and I don't want to do them dirty. I want to give them a shout out separately. So yeah, there's another video. The other video will be right before this one. A little short video. All right, see you guys. I've dragged this out enough. But yeah. Oh, one last thing. So the one last thing. I did this on a bass fuzz because I feel like bass pedals transfer more of the lower end tone. They could all be in my head, but I feel like they do. Synthesizers can do a lot more lower end tones. So I feel like a bass pedal would translate better to a keyboard. I could be wrong, but I've already tested my pedal prototypes with a BassBot Analogic 303 clone, and it kills it. It sounds great. It sounds totally good, and it sounds a little bit different, the switchless version versus the non-switched version, which is interesting. The switched version has a little more depth to it, and the like how you can tweak it to your liking more, and the unswitched version is more just in your face, and that's just what you get. So yeah, but if you're watching this, I'm gonna upload a little short video right before this, giving all recommendation for a band I really like. So yeah, if you have listened to the end, sorry that I'm not gonna post it here. But I know only like one or two of you will make it this far on like the history of the channel. If you did make it this far, then thank you for making this far. Yep. And I'm tell you a little secret. Okay, so since you made it this far, here's a little secret you're not going to know. So I got these little skeletons, little plastic skeletons. I forgot how many there were in the bag, 15, 20 of them. You'll know I'm gonna number the units, and the early units will have I'm gonna try to fit the little skeleton inside them. So there'll be a little skeleton guy hidden in there, and maybe like a little note like "I was trapped here 43 days. Goodbye, cruel world," or something funny or silly like that. And I'll trap the little skeletons inside the pedal. So if you made it this far, you're gonna know about that little skeleton secret, and I'm gonna put those in the pedals until they run out. I might not be able to fit them in the smaller ones. But any pedal that I can fit them in, I will put them in there. And if the pedal's big enough, I might even put two in there, like they're buddies and they got trapped. All right, see you guys.